Hello friends, this video on nuclei part 11 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Please make sure that you have watched all the videos till part 10 before going ahead with part 11. So let us now talk about radioactive decay. So what is this decay which we are actually talking about? When we defined radioactivity, we told that it is a nuclear phenomenon where unstable nuclei undergo a decay to become relatively stable. So what is this radioactive decay? What actually happens in this decay? Let us look at that. It is a phenomenon of decay of unstable nucleus to form stable nuclei. Okay. There are three types of radioactive decay. The first one is alpha decay, beta decay, and gamma decay. So these are the three types of radioactive decay. So these are the three ways by which an unstable nucleus can become a stable nuclei. Right? So we will discuss each of these, that is alpha, beta, and gamma, one by one in detail in our later section. So for now, let us focus on the law of radioactive decay. What is the basic rule which is followed by this phenomenon of radioactive decay? The law of radioactive decay states that the number of nuclei undergoing decay per unit time is proportional to the total number of nuclei in the sample. Let us suppose you have a sample of a radioactive nuclide. The example of a radioactive nuclide which we have for now is uranium. Right? So let us suppose you have a sample of uranium. So this sample of uranium will have several uranium nuclei. Right? Now, this uranium nuclei the nucleus will undergo radioactive decay. That means it will get converted into some other lighter, relatively stable nuclei. Right? So that means the number of uranium nuclei will gradually keep decreasing with time, because they will keep on getting converted into some other stable nuclei. Correct? So this law states that the number of nuclei undergoing decay per unit time is proportional to the total number of nuclei in the sample. Let us suppose that in this sample there were 10 uranium nuclei, and there is another sample where you have 100 uranium nuclei. So for the sample which has 10 uranium nuclei, the rate of decay will be slower. That means maybe one nuclei will decay in 1 second. I am just giving an hypothetical example. But if there are 100 uranium nuclei, then more number of nuclei will decay in 1 second. Maybe some 10 nuclei will decay in 1 second. Right? So that means the rate of decay changes depends on the total number of nuclei in the sample. More the number of nuclei in the sample, more will be the rate of decay. So this we can write it in this way. Let us suppose that there are n active nuclei. So we will give a generalized expression for this law of radioactive decay. Let us suppose that there were some 10 active nuclei at any instant of time t. Now each of these nucleus will start decaying with passage of time. So let us suppose that in a time period of dt, in a small time interval of dt, each nucleus has a chance to decay. Everybody has a chance. Right? So we assume that dn nuclei decay in time dt. So everybody has a chance to decay, but not everybody will decay, right? So in a small period of time dt, let us suppose dn number of nuclei decay. So what would be the rate of decay? Rate of decay is dn by dt. Right? So according to this law of radioactivity, this dn by dt will be proportional to the number of nuclei which is present in this sample. So dn by dt will be proportional to n. So as n increases, dn by dt will also increase. Now in order to change this proportionality into an equality, we introduce a constant lambda. So this expression defines my law of radioactivity, where lambda is known as the decay constant. This is called decay constant. right? So dn by dt becomes equal to lambda n. Now since the number of nuclei is gradually decreasing with time, therefore we often incorporate a negative sign here. So why do we have this negative sign? Because the number of nuclei is decreasing with time. So as time is increasing, the number of nuclei is decreasing, right? So now from this expression we can derive another form of the same expression. So this becomes lambda n dt. Now if we integrate on both sides, so what happens? On this side we have integration of dn, and this side we have minus lambda integration of dt. I'm sorry, there was an n, so this dn by n. So we'll take this n this side and this t this side. So what would be the limit of integration? Let us suppose limit is n naught to n. What is n naught? N naught is the number of nuclei at time t is equal to 0. Let us suppose n naught is the number of nuclei in the sample at t is equal to 0, and n is the number of sample after some time t. So we can integrate it from n naught to n, and this is equal to minus lambda into dt from 0 to t. Integrating this, 1 by n of dn will be nothing but ln n, and the limits n naught to n. So this becomes equal to minus lambda t from 0 to t. So this becomes ln n minus ln n naught is equal to minus lambda t, or we can say ln n by n naught is equal to minus lambda t. So this becomes n by n naught is equal to e to the power minus lambda t. You would have studied all these things in your mathematics. So from this we get n is equal to n naught e to the power minus lambda t, where n naught is the number of nuclei at the initial time t is equal to 0, and n is the number of nuclei after some time t. So that means n naught will always be greater than n, because initially it was n naught. Some of the nuclei got decayed in time t, so the amount of nuclei which are now left is n, right? So this expression also defines the law of radioactive decay. So what do we see from this expression? We see that the law of radioactive decay is an exponential decay law, because here you can see that the number of nuclei decreases exponentially. So if you plot a graph between this n, that is the number of undecayed nuclei, this n is the number of undecayed nuclei which is yet to decay, right? And n naught is the initial number. So if you plot this n with time, as we have plotted here, what do we see? That the number decreases exponentially. So this is also known as the exponential decay law. It is followed only by radionuclides, obviously, because radioactivity is something which is not shown by every nucleus. It is only shown by radionuclides. And what are radionuclides? That I already explained you, right? So this law will also be followed only by radionuclides. Let us now look at some of the terminologies related to radioactive decay. These are basically some of the properties which defines a radioactive decay. The first one is the decay rate, activity of a radioactive sample, half-life of a radioactive sample, and mean life of radioactive sample. So these are the 4 things which we will discuss now, which are related to the radioactive decay. So what is decay rate? As the name suggests, it is nothing but the rate of decay, the number of nuclei decaying per unit time. That means with time, how many nuclei are decaying, right? So it is denoted by a capital R. So how do we denote it mathematically? R is nothing but minus dn by dt. That is the change in the number of nuclei with time. Since the number of nuclei is decreasing with time, therefore we have a negative sign here. right? So now, making use of the exponential decay law, we know that n is equal to n naught e to the power minus lambda t. Therefore, we can write r is equal to d by dt of n naught e to the power minus lambda t. So this becomes equal to n naught minus n naught e to the power minus lambda t into minus lambda. So this becomes equal to n naught lambda e to the power minus lambda t. Now at t is equal to 0, what happens? R becomes, at t is equal to 0, r becomes equal to e to the power 0 is 1. So this becomes n naught lambda. So the value of r at t is equal to 0 is denoted as r naught. Therefore, we can write r is equal to r naught e to the power minus lambda t, because instead of n naught lambda, I can write it as r naught. So we can say that the decay constant also changes exponentially. So this expression tells the exponential change of the decay constant, right? Okay. Let us now look at the next one, that is the activity of a radioactive sample. So what do I mean by activity of a radioactive sample? It means the total decay rate of a sample of one or more radionuclides. Let us suppose you have a sample of uranium. It has got many uranium nuclides, right? So if I talk about the total decay rate of that sample, I am not talking about the decay rate of a particular nuclide. I am talking about the decay rate of the entire sample as a whole. So then we use this term activity. Physically, the meaning of activity and decay rate is the same, but the term activity is used for an entire sample. SI unit of activity is becquerel, after the name of the scientist Henry Becquerel. There is another unit which is Curie. So how do I define becquerel? 1 becquerel is defined as 1 decay per second. That means 1 nuclei decayed in 1 second, or 1 decay took place in 1 second. Another other unit is Curie. The relation between Curie and becquerel is 1 Curie is equal to 3.7 into 10 to the power 10 becquerel. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.